Hi everyone and welcome to my place. It's official, I have the book. Inside this book, every request that you send me, I'm going to be putting into here. So just to reiterate, if you want me to do something for you, Gmail me at assisplace@gmail. Let me know what you want. Let me know what components you've got. Let me know where you want it to be placed. I will put you in the book. I will go hunting and I will find the materials and hopefully I can satisfy your needs. So today's first arrangement is for Kim in Birmingham. Thank you, Kim, for letting me know where you are in the world. I like to know where you're coming at me from. She has asked if I could do an Easter door wreath because she didn't have time at Christmas, so she thought she would just surprise all the neighbours with one for Easter. So I hope I've got you covered. Let's just go through what I've got. I've already shown you how to make a willow wreath, which is about the right time of the year to be making it for you girls, or you, well, all of you in the Northern Hemisphere, especially if you're into March like I am. I haven't got the date on things, but you know, you can make your own, or I've just purchased this natural one, which I thought was quite nice for what I'm doing today. I've got some ribbon, I've got some artificial, or perhaps if you've got access to some real budding blooms. This looks like a little bit of magnolia. And please remember that because I'm on the other side of the world from you, I'm going to have to use artificial if I can't get the fresh. I've got a lovely little Easter bunny that I thought was just so cute. I've got some Easter eggs that I've tied up here with a little bit of raffia. I've got these gorgeous, gorgeous little roses here that I've made out of some burlap, which I'll show you how to make in due course. And I've got some twine, which I'm going to use for wrapping up. Right, the first thing to do is to turn that over, and I'm going to put the hanger on there now so that that's out of the way. And it's best to work this way when you're doing anything like this because it gets to be a bit pointless trying to put a hanger on once you've got it done because it sometimes just moves. So I'll just tie that on there quite firmly and pull that through there. And you'll notice that I've taken it through there so that I'm hiding it and it's to the back of where I'm going. Cut those bits there off, make it nice and neat. Right, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the ribbon on first because I want it to sort of hang down the back. So what I'm going to do is I wanted it to hang like that, so I'll put the ribbons on now to get those out of the way. Now, there's two ways you can hot glue these on, but I've stopped doing that because I actually reuse a lot of my material. So you could hot glue that on if you wanted to, but look, a little pin through there. Oh, a pin will work quite nicely. So we just put the pin there, and then when I've finished, I'm actually going to bring that through there, which I thought might be quite nice, might not be. We'll just see how we are at the end. But at least I've got that on at this stage. Right, with your willow, or whatever you're using, your blossom, and it's quite nice when you use blossom like this that's still quite tight because the moisture in the air, sometimes it still opens, which can be really beautiful. Right, I've got 3 pieces, and just bend and manipulate that. If you're using fresh, you might have to cut it to snip it, and I actually don't want that but there. I want that to go more into there. And the other thing is, if you've got an open weave on your wreath, you can actually just poke that through and into there. The other thing is I want this to sort of like sweep around the outside, and I also wanted this to give the illusion of the wreath being bigger. That's a wee trick for me and a wee tip if you're ever doing anything you want it to be bigger than what it visually is. So the other thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to tie those bits on with a bit of rope, like so, and I'll just leave that there and I can trim those up when I'm finished. Right, I'm going to bring that there into there in a circular motion. 4 pieces of this would be quite good, but I don't have 4 pieces, do I? No, I don't. So just bring that to there, and because I've still got that bit of string there, what I can do is I can use those long tails to just actually anchor that into place there, and then move that around. I love working with artificial stuff. And then with this bit here, I'll just take that into there and I'll bring that round to there, and I'll use another bit of string or rope to tie that off. And I think it's really nice using these natural fibres when you're using like natural with the wreath, and with the naturalness of that branch gives it that really keeps everything sort of like organic and a bit sort of raw looking, which is quite nice. Now, because I need to also, and because this is going to be sitting outside, Kim, I would suggest that you make sure that you do anchor it down well, because a bit of wind, those little spring winds that come up, it might just need to be tied into place. Right, tie that off there like so. Okay, so there we have our wreath. The next thing that our branches on, the next thing I want to do is to put my biggest component, which is the little bunny. So I'm just going to put him into there and using that rope, tie him onto place like so. Gosh, good utilisation of a rope today. I could do a reef knot, but that'll do. Yeah, perfect. So make sure that that's quite firmly in place there. Now with the eggs, these can just be tied around the outside, or if you wanted to, well, I've looked at all sorts of methods on how to do this, and unfortunately you can't really glue them on with a hot glue gun, can you? No, you can't, because guess what would happen? The chocolate would melt. So it's just a matter of going around there and putting a few of these in. There we go, look at that. That's exactly what I wanted. That's perfect. That might even be able to hang down. Now when I tied these on, what I did was I just tied it around quite firmly and then used a pin to just pin that into place. A brand new pin, I might add, so that that doesn't slip out of place like so. And I'll put another one into there. Now I've got 6 little children next door that love to come to call at my place at Easter. So this I'm going to, and every year they're always surprised and I wonder what she's got on her door. So this is what we're going to be doing this year, and there's going to be one each, and they all know that they can only take one, otherwise I will know that they've been greedy and there'll be children that are upset. So just tying those into there. I'll tie another one into there. It looks like it's a bit fiddly, but isn't it nice that we'd have wee chat? I love doing that when I'm doing flower. Oh! That's not going to work. You have to be careful with things like this because they don't all, raffia is not strong like it used to be. So just tie that off there. Don't go too rough, Esther, or you'll break it. Now, if you didn't have those and you wanted to make something that was a little bit more permanent, you could actually use these little eggs like this. They could be incorporated into there, and you could just hot glue those. But as I said, I don't like doing things like that because I like my wreaths to last. The other thing I found were these little eggs here too that could hang down if you wanted to add a bit of colour. But I just thought that for this year this would be quite nice. And do you know, as I'm talking about this, I actually do decide that I do like those little eggs into there. Now I found these two and I thought that they were quite nice, and they could be glued into there if you wanted to. And then with these roses, and I will show you how to make these because these are just quite cute. That's my fake hydrangea. But with these can just be poked in and amongst to just give it a little bit more of visual interest, like so. And I'll put another one there. And another little tip I wanted to tell you, sometimes if you've only got one, I've got this other saying, if in doubt, leave it out. And I'll just put the last little rose into there. There we have it, an Easter wreath, and I'll put that down to there, and that can either go across there, fall across like that, or you can leave that to hang underneath like so. And I can't move it now, can I, to show you? You'll have to look down on it because the eggs will fall out because I haven't glued them. But there's an easy, simple approach too, and I really love it because it's at this time of the year when it's spring and things are just starting to bud. It looks quite good. I hope you've enjoyed that. My pleasure to do that, Pet Kim. I hope I've crossed a box for you. See you again another day.